What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Grab My Banner podcast. We are here talking Apex Legends, week 1 of the new gambling season, and I've got Brian here. It's loss, win, loss, win. Okay, so you ended okay. There was a little stretch there in the middle that I felt was a little repetitive in the
wins.
No, it was a lot of losses.
No, but how many bones did I go up? That's what matters.
You went up 7.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
How many did you go up?
I didn't go up any at all. But
yeah, because you bet so conservative.
Yeah, I bet so conservatively. But I also had a 3-3 record. That's 500.
Kyle, I see
what
you
is
leaning.
3-7?
Hold on, Kyle. I see you leaning into
worst
the mic.
Record in.
You have the worst record at this table.
Listen,
you can't say anything to White about being conservative when he's trying to figure out who's going to shit the bed. Okay, yeah. And now we know.
Now I know.
Okay, now we know.
Moneybags Bab is coming out.
Your Amazon order has like 3 different sets of sheets.
Week 2, Moneybags Bab is coming out. I had to figure out what I was going to bet on you. I had to figure you out, and now I figured you out. Okay,
listen,
it's what I thought it was.
Let me tell you,
3-7. I know where to bet now.
Let me tell you right now, it does not matter how often I lose when I'm going up quicker than you are, regardless. I can lose half my roll. It doesn't matter.
It does,
and I'm still going up higher
because eventually it's going to catch up with you. If you're betting 3-7 every week, eventually you're going to hit a really bad bet where you bet 20 units and you lose. And I'm sitting over here sitting at 500. I'm in the clear, baby.
How are you going to
I'm driving to Paradise City. Take me down to the Paradise City where the grass is green and the girls, they're pretty.
Okay, listen to this. How are you going to be at 500 when you only get 0 each week? You don't go up at all. You stay the same spot.
Listen,
3-3.
No, all I'm hearing right now, this sounds like going to the horse races and then hearing about 2 people debating which of the 2 worst horses is better. All right?
Clearly, I'm not the worst.
I'm
not the worst horse. That goes to Wyatt and Kyle.
Here's the thing: is that whether
get the fuck out of here.
No one cares about 11th through 12th, Brian. We're talking about 1st and 2nd.
That's me and you.
Me and Kyle. No,
that's me and you.
It's not even close.
Listen, hold on.
We're ranking off of bones.
We got to give credit where credit is due. Troy is up 55 bones this week, but let's talk about why he's up 55 bones.
Welcome.
He's up 55 burgers because he bet unders on you, and the overs he bet on you, he lost.
That's right.
Listen,
I'd be up even more.
You're welcome. 2.
That's not
Kyle's still in 3rd place.
3rd place with the best record in the league. Thank you.
Yeah, but how'd that work in your bones?
I'm in 3rd.
Okay,
He's
so you're in
just
3rd.
down 2 bones.
You're in 3rd. Wait, who's in 2nd?
Why?
I'm down 2 bones from you. It's only
so you're
bones.
you're down from me. So I'm in 2nd?
Yes, you're in 2nd.
Okay, thank you.
Why, Bab? I need you to read the records.
Let's get into the records real quick.
Please, the people need to know.
All right, so Wyatt Bab, the illustrious, 3-3 with 0 bones. But you know what? That's okay. I didn't go down.
Way to shoot for
You
mediocrity.
can go fucking up either.
Here's the thing. How am I supposed to bet anything on you when I don't know where you are? And then you come out with the 3-7 record.
Listen, I hit
what
my
am I
lines.
supposed to do?
I hit 2 out of 3 of my lines.
You should be upset with yourself for not knowing where he was.
Moneybags Bab is coming out this week, and you guys are going to be in for a surprise.
I don't think you deserve that name. I don't think you deserve that name. Not when you don't bet and when Troy has 55 extra bones.
If you don't bet a 50 burger this week, you don't deserve money by bags.
I don't need to bet a 50
you
burger.
You need to bet a 50 burger.
No, I don't need to bet a 50 burger.
Yes, you do. Otherwise, you're a little bitch.
I'm not betting a 50 burger, but it'll be close. It'll be close. Brian's record was 3-7. He was plus 7 bones. He hit 1 bet. That was it. That's not going to happen if you're consistently 3-7. That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying. Then Kyle was 4-2. Had the best record this week, but only 5 bones. He didn't really go up. He went down on some bad ones. He had some unders that he should have hit, didn't hit. And then Troy is 3-2, but he's plus 55 bones. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let me go through the bet that Troy made to go up 55 bones. He bet 20 units on Brian first quarter under of the average damage. His average damage was only supposed to be 450. That's all Brian had to do to defeat this bet. But with it looming over his head, he couldn't find it.
Let me tell you right now.
He couldn't hack it.
I had the worst fucking night playing Apex that I've ever had. I have never raged so hard in my life. And for those of you that might hear it on like some other form of social media, let me tell you right now, I get fucking competitive as soon as you put bets against myself. You give me goals, I get competitive. So
he says he gets competitive. It doesn't mean he's gonna win.
That's just that's another way.
I still hit my lines throughout. I still hit my average. I hit the average after that. Every quarter after that, I hit it.
So those are the records.
Brian, you got 20 kills in 16 games, Brian. You got
Brian,
20 kills in 16 games.
He has
let
a
me
point.
just go ahead and let me just pull my phone up, put it next to the microphone, and replay you last week when I bet under on you in that first quarter.
I come out strong every fucking week. I come out so strong every fucking week.
That was you, okay? I'll play it back if you need me to. But you didn't get fucking... You didn't even get a 1.5 KD, Brian. Not even a 1.5.
Listen. Like I said, if you look at Kyle's stats, the guy only got over 1,000 damage one fucking time. And how many kills did you get this week?
39.
Yeah, less than 1,000 damage in every game, and somehow he comes out with 39
Yeah,
kills.
but my max is the highest out of anybody's this week.
Hold on,
one time. You got over 1,000 one time. It was your max.
Kyle's stats yell clutch, okay? Your stats yell choke. That's all that matters.
He's got a point. Let's go through some of the main quotes from the Grab My Banner group text. I said,
shit.
boys, I'm listening to Brian play his games. It's not good so far. Troy says, what? Not Brian. Not, I start strong every session, go belly. And then I said, here are some quotes from that session. You fucking bitch. Why the hell am I Revenant? Who pays attention and doesn't know which character he's playing in the most pivotal point of his games? And then he said, and I quote, bro, I'm so fucked this week. Those came out of your mouth. So don't come up here with this swagger. That's what you said. And then here's another quote. This is probably my favorite one. He said at one point, Ange, come play for me. Which is his girlfriend. He's asking his girlfriend to come play for him.
Anything he can do to push the blame onto somebody else.
I don't think that's good.
Yeah. And listen, if you had come out here and just owned your mediocrity, maybe the public, okay, would have had a little more faith in you. He had a bad week. We should give him some credit. But no, all you did is come in here and start bashing Kyle of all things. Bro, you got fucking 20 kills. You got 20 kills.
20 kills in 16 games.
Listen, I'm telling you right now, if you bet the under on my kills this week, you are going to sorely regret it.
You sound so repetitive every week when you say that, and then you come out here flat. You're flat.
I'm going to be sitting on a gold throne made out of your losses, and you're going to be crawling to me on your stump limbs because you've had to sell them for more bones, and you're going to be telling me that I'm going to regret it for betting your unders.
Listen,
God,
Troy, I can't say much to you because you have 55 bones over me. But Wyatt, flat. We're talking about flat. That is what your bones were this week.
Yeah.
You didn't go up. You didn't go down. You didn't do shit.
Hey, keyword, I didn't go down. Also, I was able to amass 47 kills.
Way to be
in 16
selfish.
games.
Not going down, that's
47
selfish.
kills in 16 games, Brian?
That's over double what Brian got. Let me just say that really quick.
It would take you 35 games to get those stats.
Oh, my God. Okay, hold on a second. Let's get back to the show. Okay. We got a packed show for you guys
I
here.
knew this was coming.
Yeah, we knew it was going to be a bloodbath early on, and I fully expected it. I was so excited for the show this week. But let's get into the actual show, because we got a good one for you. We're going to have a few Reddit discussions like we always do. We're going to talk Kings Canyon Makeover, and then we're going to go ahead and talk a little bit about our thoughts on the Mastiff versus the Peacekeeper, whether they should bring back the Peacekeeper if you're okay with the Mastiff staying in. And then we'll go into our main discussion, which was just released today. This Grand Soiree event is finally back. Once a week, they're going to be dropping a new mode, so we'll talk a little bit about that. Maybe some modes we'll see. And then the skins will return in the aftermarket event. Now, that one's up in the air. We'll discuss that a little bit, too. So let's get right into it with the Reddit discussion, the Kings Canyon remake. So this comes from a Redditor. His name is Nizzy Dinero, and he had the idea of what should be redone to Kings Canyon in order to make it more viable for possibly future players, for maybe even considerations of larger lobby sizes. He has a few areas circled in here. We won't go through his exactly, but let's go through some of ours and what we'd like to see. I'm going to start here. Bring back Bridges. Bridges was iconic, man. Battles at Bridges were insane. Bring back Bridges. That's all I want. Bring back Bridges. I mean, obviously, Skulltown is one of those, but they just took it out, so you really can't ask him to bring it back in. But I'd love to see Bridges come back.
Oh, you can ask him to bring Skulltown back in.
Yeah.
You can ask.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
We could ask. It's okay to ask.
Thunderdome was nice, but I could have dealt with losing
it's
that.
on a crane, dude. I really think that maybe they might bring Skulltown back. I'm only hoping.
The only thing they can really do is revamp the town because the old town really sunk. They still have the skull, but I mean...
Listen,
really
the most they're going to do is make it into that new industrial look that they have and add a few more high ground places, even though it had way too many to begin with. And I could see them bringing it back as a point of interest, being like Skulltown 2.0, so with a shit ton of more loot for bigger lobby sizes and things like that. But it's not going to be Skulltown. Let's be real. It's not Skulltown.
No, it's not going to be Skulltown. It's not going to be the same. The only way they could really bring it back is if they bring it back exactly like it was before, and that's the only way I'd want it back. If they considered bringing it back in a different form, I don't really want it, to be honest with you. So that's why I say bring back bridges. He did circle another area in here that was kind of interesting. If you go back to swamps, in the very back, he circled the large mountain range on the back part of it. You can kind of go through there and get to the other side through that little back way through swamps, but it's not anything in particular that you'd want to like travel every time. It's not like a route you'd want to make. Like, for instance, we always land water treatment plant and then we head back towards like Skulltown-ish area and we run that route, and wherever the circle takes us, it takes us. But that's typically where we like to go. That's our rotation. That one doesn't really provide a rotation, so if they were to redo that, that would actually be really cool.
I mean, you can rotate down to containment.
If they made a tunnel to artillery, I think that would be pretty cool too. If they made a part of the map back there.
I feel like that's unneeded though. Like, artillery is one of those areas I think they need to remake, and it's not circled on here. But like, who the hell goes to artillery?
It's one of those things where it's like some people love it, but honestly, I rarely go. Like, I rarely go there unless I have to.
It's too spread out. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, you can drop, you can get a gun and stuff like that, but by the time you need to get into a fight, they've already had time to drop, grab a gun, and run the hell away. And this game, I'm sorry, this game's not about looting. This game's about killing. So it's just not a good point. Like, it's just not a good place to go. That entire northwest, like central to northwest corner of the map is just a waste of space on this map. They need to open it up, add much bigger points of interest in there. And dude, if you want to throw a new major point of interest like Skulltown was, or like Thunderdome was, I say do it. That's a perfect spot to do it at.
Yeah, another place I think they should kind of switch that he did circle on here was Airbase. I like Airbase. It's an interesting concept, but I don't think there's enough loot there for you to want to consistently land there. I just don't think there's enough. They'd have to add some buildings to that, maybe just completely redo it. Like I said, I love the concept. I like the way it looks. It brings a different feel to the map. But as a place that you'd want to land, it's not somewhere you'd want to go and start a rotation on, I don't think.
What I was thinking was, what if they had an airship every single time in the in-between area? Because the times where there's the airship that lands in between them, like those times, the fights are really hectic because you're like jumping on the airship, then you're jumping off the airship, and then you're grabbing loot.
That would be a good idea.
I was going to say... instead of have the drop ships, not the airships that you get the loot off of and everything, but the drop ship that brings you in, just make like a fleet of them there. Mm-hmm. That'll give more cover space. You can load them with different parts of loot, different things. You can make some have higher rarities than others, which is fine because maybe you color code them different or something like that. Whatever it is, have loot bins, whatever you can fill out. There's so much open space there, which I understand having open space in Kings Canyons. You know, there's not a ton of places that have those wide ranges. But I think that having the extra ships there and the things like that, like the big ship in the middle, is a definite must-have there for it to be worth dropping.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you might as well just go to Gauntlet.
Some other areas I think could possibly be redone. Earlier I said swamps. I meant Slum Lake. The mountains next to Slum Lake. That's what I meant to say. I said swamps, though. But swamps is another area that could probably be redone in a better way. Nobody really goes swamps unless you have to. I think it has enough loot. I like the loot that it supplies.
I think swamps is very loot dense, and I don't think they really have to change much. I think the circles that close in swamps are some of the funnest circles that I have.
You're not wrong there. I just think they need to add a better access to the rest of the map from it. I feel like sometimes it's a little hard to go in and out.
They have the balloon there. I think the rotation from there is... what's it called? Relay? Or no, not Relay. Right to the west of Swamps. I'm blanking on the name of it. But
no, it is Relay.
It is Relay? Yeah. So the rotation is you're supposed to start at Swamps, rotate down to the balloon, and take the balloon up to Relay. So you grab easy loot that's going to be in abundance and fly over and kill the people who are already fighting.
Or you go to Laboratory.
I think, or Laboratory. But I think Swamps gets better the better that Relay gets.
Yeah.
If Relay becomes more competitive with higher loot, it's going to be like how Laboratory is right now, and you can drop into the new point of interest in the map where what's it called next? Where it's got the tunnel leading straight into the portal.
Oh, I have an old map on here. I didn't realize it was an old map.
I'm blanking on the name of it, but we've talked about it a few weeks ago. It's one of my favorite rotations. You can drop there and then go and clean out laboratories because you got set before everyone else, and it's still close enough to rotate into. And you could do that with swamps if relay was a better point of interest. You can still do it with laboratory, but now it gives multiple options to do so.
Yeah, I feel that. And I don't really like the new part of the map.
The rig, yeah.
Yeah,
Rig.
so the new one, the rig, I don't really go there very often. I don't think it's very important. I think it's not very loot dense, and it's very spread out, and I think it's just not very useful at all.
I will say I have had a circle there closed, and actually it's pretty fun because you have the different high grounds and different things like that. It's a fun place for the circle to end.
The rig is a fun place for the circle to end, but it's never somewhere I'd go just to start looting or start my game.
Never. But that entire north side of the map, listen, I don't want to go to Slum Lakes first off. I don't want to go to, what is it? Artillery first off, and I don't want to go to the rig first off. This is a place
that makes one entire side of the map almost obsolete.
So look at all the locations. I'm going to list off the locations on the map, and you describe those locations as drop points for you. Slum Lakes, Artillery, the rig, swamps, relay, and airbase. All those places, what do they all have in common?
They're all on the edge of the map.
They're on the edge of the map, and they're all spread out, spaced out. Now, if I were to say different drop points, and I were to say containment, capacitor, I'm blanking on the name. Bunker? Is it bunker?
Bunker, yeah.
Bunker.
The cage.
Market, the cage. They're all centered in the map, and they're all tight quartered points of interest. So if you're looking for something that's more fast-paced, more action, you drop centered, and you're quicker to rotate anywhere. But if you want something slower, they set up to where you can be on the outside of the map and have your back be covered. But you risk having to run through everyone because of the storm.
Yeah.
So I see what they did there as far as spacing out the loot and spacing out the people. But I personally think that it needs to be a little more compact. I think that there needs to be a little bit more loot in the game, and that really the fix is to have those numbers go up as the party lobbies.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so let's get into our final discussion. This one doesn't come from Reddit. This one just comes from us, but it's been discussed on Reddit probably a gajillion times. Mastiff versus Peacekeeper. Kyle started off. What do you think?
I think the PK is fine in the gold. I think it should stay there because I think that the PK was just too overpowered to be on the ground loot. And it's the same way I feel about the Devotion. Devotion shouldn't be on the fucking ground. Devotion should be a gold gun. And the PK should be a gold gun. The Mastiff, as shitty as it is, and as many times as I hit for fucking 18 on the second shot, it is a good shotgun. It's just not the best. It's not like the PK was back in the day when it was on the ground. It's nowhere near. I think they need to introduce a new shotgun to be like what the PK was, but I don't think they need to move the PK back onto the ground.
Okay, I'm going to be real. I have a fucking hatred for shotguns. Mm-hmm. I've never been able to use a shotgun in my life. In any game, I suck with them. I know that. I don't pick them up for a reason. That being said, the Peacekeeper was a shotgun even I could use. And the reason I could use it was the way that the spread was. It was a star-shaped spread. You could hit every limb. It was in the shape of somebody's body. You could hit a headshot and every limb at the same time. But the Mastiff has a fucking horizontal spread. So if you are not dead center on that person, they are going to get hit for like a 14. And that is my issue with the Mastiff. It's not the damage that the gun can put out. It's not any of that. If you're going to have a shotgun on the ground and you put this shotgun in to replace the Peacekeeper, which is a shotgun you could pick up at any point in the game and be able, even before it got the buff to be a gold weapon, you could pick it up at any point in the game and have a viable gun that can compete at any level with no attachments or anything. It's just a standard gun. You knew what you were getting with it. High risk, high reward, but viable. If you're trying to replace that with the Mastiff is not that right now. You're better off with the Mozambique. You will have more consistency and more range with that. So I have an issue with the Mastiff. I don't think that it should be a gun on the ground because you need a shotgun that's consistent. And let's be real, the EVA 8 is not that. It's not even worth it. So I would rather have the Peacekeeper on the ground and you buff the Mastiff and put the Mastiff back in the gold loot. So at least we have something consistent and worth picking up.
Yeah, I'm going to have to say I agree with Brian on this one, but not for the same reasoning. I actually really miss the rush of opening a legendary loot crate and seeing the Mastiff in there. When I see the Peacekeeper, I'm like, okay, whatever. But when I used to see that Mastiff in there, my heart rate accelerated, my palms sweat. I felt like right now I'm almost 6 foot. I felt like I was almost 7 foot. So I was just, I'm not actually 6
You're
foot.
not even close
I'm
to
not even
6
close
foot.
to
Not
6
even
foot.
close, brother.
I was
I'm
trying to-
barely 6 foot.
I thought you guys were going to roast me quicker than you did. It took you guys a little bit to get over here.
It took me a second to catch what you said.
But
Listen,
anyway,
your joke went over my head.
Exactly.
Definitely went over Brian's head.
But the feeling I used to get when I'd see the Mastiff in there was unparalleled. That was so fun for me. And honestly, I just don't get that same feeling. Like when I see, even when I would see a Peacekeeper on the ground, when it was, as a ground weapon, I used to get really excited too. Because even though the Peacekeeper would be so frustrating sometimes, it was still like when you saw one, you're like, okay, I have a chance here. It was never like, when you see a Mozambique, a P-2020 on the ground, guns that like piss you off. The Peacekeeper is in that category where it pisses you off, but there's that little chance. There's that chance where you hit every shot and you knock 5 people, 6 people. There's been times where I'm in Skulltown, I'm left, right, up, down. I'm knocking everybody with it. There's those games like that the Peacekeeper gave you that the Mastiff, I don't feel like it does. Maybe I just suck. That's definitely a possibility. Maybe I am garbage town. But here's what I know. When I used to see that Peacekeeper on the ground, I was excited. When I saw that Mastiff in the box, I was even more excited. Now that the roles are switched, whenever I see the Peacekeeper, I'm like, whatever. Whenever I see the Mastiff, I'm like, I'd rather take like a sniper rifle or even an RE-45. Sometimes I would rather take a Mozambique with hammer points over supposedly, the premier shotgun in the game. And I don't feel like that's the way it should be, especially with how fun the Peacekeeper used to be.
So for those of you who came in late, once the Peacekeeper was already put into the box and the Mastiff was on the ground, take a look at our TikTok and you'll see Wyatt actually go and at the end of a game pick up a Peacekeeper, and you can see what that work can be done with that Peacekeeper.
Exactly.
You'll see the example of what we're talking about and why we say that on the ground is a viable gun.
That clip that I put up on the TikTok, by the way, go follow TikTok at Grab My Banner Podcast. That clip, I don't even have the Peacekeeper in my possession. When I pick it up off the ground, Kyle and Brian are both down. There's 2 people left. I swapped weapons. I didn't have a shotgun bolt. I didn't have a precision choke. I had no scope on it, or like no sight, and usually I like to put a red dot on it. I had nothing on it, but I was able to pick up the gun and win the game with 2 shots. I won it with 2 shots, and they were perfectly placed shots, and that's like the Peacekeeper used to give you that, like, it's like, okay, it's like, you know how people always, Mike Tyson is back in the news because he's fighting again?
Wait, what?
Yeah, he's going to fight somebody
Tyson's
again.
fight again.
Who's he going to fight?
He's going to fight this other 50-year-old dude. But here's the thing about Tyson.
Me and my dad have a bet
Even
on it.
when he was about to retire, when Tyson was about to retire, like, yeah, he probably shouldn't be fighting anymore. But if he hits that one shot, the world is going to shake. That's what the Peacekeeper gave you, and I just don't feel like the Mastiff has that.
The Mastiff doesn't give you that, and I feel like the Mastiff is now that I hear your talk and your thoughts about it, I think you're right. I think the Mastiff felt better as a gold gun than the PK does.
Listen, when you got that Mastiff as a gold gun, something about firing off those shots as quick as you could and hitting them repeatedly, and that recoil, how it just launched
It
up,
launched
you got
backwards.
to see everything,
Yeah.
and then you came back down, and if you were aiming on them, they were dead.
Yeah.
They were dead.
They were done.
But you don't even get that with the gold, or like what would be a gold Mastiff now. You don't get it.
No.
And honestly, with the Peacekeeper, it does not have the same feel. People use that gun as a pseudo sniper right now.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
It doesn't have
it's
that
not-
shotgun feel.
It doesn't feel like a shotgun
No.
in the gold version it is now. The spread's too tight, which is weird for me to say because it's me, and I don't like shotguns because of the spread, but it doesn't feel like a shotgun. It feels like a short-range sniper.
Yeah. So I would like to see the Peacekeeper back. I miss the gun, and I also miss the Mastiff too, because I feel like right now, me and the Mastiff are in this weird relationship where I'm in a committed relationship with it, but I just can't talk to it right now. Like I come home from work, I'm like, leave me alone, Mastiff. Let me do my thing. But me and the Mastiff, we used to be like this. We used to be so tight. I'd come home from work, I'd be like, let's go, baby, let's go on a date. Now I don't want to do that with the Mastiff. I'm like, get away from me.
Listen,
You smell bad, and I hate you.
fuck.
Damn.
This is what comes to my mind with the Mastiff currently. Would you rather have a Mastiff at close range or a wingman?
I'd probably have a wingman.
I'd probably have a
honestly.
wingman too. I mean,
There's an issue there. If the best shotgun in the game is being beat out by a pistol at close range, there's an issue.
I think that the Mastiff, see, it's not the first shot that I'm worried about. I don't know about you guys, but my first shot I hit for 90, and I'm like, hell yeah. Then I fire off the second shot, and it's like 18, and I'm like,
Dude, I've hit people with 4 shots with the
Jeez.
Mastiff before, and they don't die.
Yes, I actually had that happen today in Dummy's Big Day, which we should get to.
yes.
Main discussion today, Grand Soiree is finally back. We're going to have new LTMs every Tuesday. We're going to have and we're starting with Dummy's Big Day. Boys, we got an event. Now, here's the weird part. The event came in without an update. We don't know where it came from. It just showed up. It was there.
I didn't know
And
that.
so this tweet comes from Shrugtool. This was the night before the event started. This is our boy Shrugtool. By the way, if you don't follow him on Twitter, you need to. He's one of the premier data miners in this community, and he's fantastic follow. He has a YouTube channel as well, Shrugtool. Follow that. Expect an announcement today for the September soiree lasting the entire month. Dummy's Big Day returns at 5 p.m. GMT today. Different fan favorite modes every Tuesday. Grand Soiree skins return with the aftermarket event September 15th. Now, in a later tweet, he says that might not be coming on the 15th. It might be sometime in October before we see those skins come back. No idea what's going on with this aftermarket event, but it sounds like they're trying to push it back for something. Not exactly sure, but I have to assume it's cross-play. Either way, we're getting new LTMs every Tuesday for the remainder of the month.
So, I know it probably wasn't the most popular LTM, but do you guys remember that Gold Rush one? I don't even know if that's the name of it. Where
Yeah, that was Gold Rush.
It was
Gold
Gold
Rush,
Rush.
yeah. Only
Yeah.
gold
I
guns.
freaking loved that game mode.
Yeah. And
Look.
that one, I think that one's going to come back.
Dude, I want to go and pick up a Kraber off the ground every damn game. Running around with 2 freaking Kravers and a gold shield was amazing.
That was fun.
It was a lot of fun.
That was
I
fun.
loved that game mode.
Yeah, so obviously we're starting with Dummy's Big Day here. Played a little bit of it today. It's frustrating. They ended up pausing the mode, and me and Kyle experienced this before we got on today. Apex tweeted out, "We're hitting pause on the party. After Dummy's Big Day went live, we discovered a bug that causes server crashes if a player AFK'd on character select. For the health of the game and our players, we're turning it off and turning it back on with the fixes, and we'll give you details as soon as they come." So they have it turned off right now, but Dummy's Big Day is back. The one problem I have so far with Dummy's Big Day is they left the exact same ults as before, and I really thought they'd be testing something new out, but apparently not.
I think it's
ults.
almost the same exact commercial they put out for the Dummy's Big Day too, and like to me that really sucks because I was like, man, I'm so excited for Dummy's Big Day. They're going to try out new ults. They're going to try out new things. There's going to be new things that the dummies are going to do. This is going to be so cool. And we just got the same mode that we had last year, and I was like, "What the fuck? Where's my new ults? Where's my new things to play with?" Like,
that mixed in with the bugs kind of made it definitely underwhelming, but they should have it fixed pretty soon, and we should be live again. So, Brian, what do you think?
It seems like a Band-Aid. Like, the Grand Soiree this year seems like a Band-Aid. It seems like they weren't ready to put out what they had. Let's run it back from last year. You said it came without an update. What that tells me is it probably never left. Mm-hmm. They had this in their back pocket as just in case, all of our LTMs are going to be on our back pocket for an event in case we need more time. We need to fix some bugs. We need to fix some audio glitches. We need to fix some ults in different areas of the map that are having issues, whatever it is. But what I would say is, up into this event, we've always seen some new product coming out. We've always seen Respawn working on something different, something new, something interesting, some big change. Whether we've liked that change or not, we've been, we'll obviously be vocal about, and the community is very vocal about. We've seen it happen. So this is the first time that we've seen anything where it almost feels like they're being lazy, but that doesn't sound like Respawn. So to me, I'm just going to make the current assumption, this might change with time, that they are actually just working on something bigger, and this is just leaning more towards there is something big to come. Something big is going to come out of this, and I'm not really sure what it's going to end up being. Cross-plat seems like the most realistic. Expanded lobbies, different map. or we might see some massive changes to some characters. Looking at you, Bangalore, Octane, and Mirage.
Yeah.
So a lot of things could change from it. They might just need more time developing, and this is kind of that Band-Aid to stick on it.
Now, here's the other thing about the event. You know, like you said, it seems like a Band-Aid. Now, the best way that they can make it not feel like a Band-Aid is if they introduce more Grand Soiree skins on top of the old ones that they had. We know Overwatch used to do this thing where every, say it was Christmas, they would have the skins from Christmas last year, but then they'd add the new ones in so that you could get new ones. If they were to just bring in the original Grand Soiree skins with nothing else, that would be disappointing. That would be disappointing.
I have a feeling they might do that, but I think they're going to throw in Caustic's heirloom with it.
I would be pissed.
I would be pissed.
I'd be pissed too.
100%. I think that would be a joke. I think that they should introduce other ones, even though Clocktane and the one where Pathfinder's in a suit, Swerve and Mervin, I think those skins are legit. If they didn't add new ones other than that, though, I would be upset.
All you got to do, honestly, this is all you got to do, especially if you're working on something, just give 2 legendaries, maybe 3 or 4 of the purple ones. What are those ones called? Rares? I don't
Rares.
know.
I don't
Just
I don't
rares.
even know.
Yeah.
But give a
Epics.
few epics. You get a few of those in, call it good. Keep working on what you got to work on. But you can't just give us this event and then drop the exact same skins and not add anything.
I'm already upset about Dummy's Big Day, them just redoing it. I if they don't give us something more, I'm going to be a little bit
Now,
upset.
Dummy's Big Day has already been disappointing. We've gotten through that. But what about some of the other events that could come? What are some of the events, Kyle, that could come that would make you feel a little bit better?
Well, one that I think a lot of the community really liked, I really enjoyed, was Grand Soiree last year was third person.
If they bring back third-person mode, I'm taking all of my clothes off. All of my clothes are coming off, and I'm running straight down the street. Straight. Just down. I might not even stop. I might run through somebody's house.
You might go to jail for that.
I'm fine. But yeah, so I love that third-person mode. That was one of my favorite modes. We actually, in our early days of Apex content, we made a video on third-person mode that is still on our YouTube. I'm not going to show it to you because the quality is fucking god-awful. But we did make a third-person video because we all love that mode so much. What are some other ones?
Always Be Closing is another good one, but they already have that around a lot. What's another one, Brian?
Armed and Dangerous will probably come back. I'm only bringing that up just because it's all snipers and shotguns, and that's honestly, people are just like, they just bring it back. I feel like it's that give me that they do, and a lot of times they do test stuff out in that. If you haven't noticed,
Yeah.
they'll test out like
They
little
tested out
things,
respawn beacons a few events
and
ago.
that's where they brought in Evo shields. To begin
Evo
with.
shields,
They brought
too.
all different kinds of stuff like
They
that.
like to
Yeah.
test stuff out. Now, here's the thing, though. If they just bring back events with nothing new at all, that'll be a little disappointing, especially if we got to wait till sometime in October for an aftermarket event. It will just feel like a Band-Aid. I'd like to see something new. I'd like to see a new mode. I'd love to see third person, like we said. Maybe Fool's Gold or whatever it was called, Gold Rush. The all gold mode would be cool. All those modes would be all right, but I'd like to see a newer one.
I'd be perfectly fine with them bringing back the Mirages one, but that's going to end up waiting till
That's the Christmas one, though.
Yeah, that's
I know,
so
that's a Christmas
pumped
one.
for
I
that one.
love that.
That
game.
one was
That
sick.
gives me the exact same feeling as Search and Destroy.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah,
that
was
feels
a lot
like.
of fun.
That mode is so fun, dude. That mode is so fun. I can't wait for that one. But is there anything else we have on this topic in particular?
Oh, yes. So a while back, correct me if I'm wrong, somebody told me that they might be bringing an explosives class, not class character, but explosives to the game.
Crossbows.
Crossbows.
Yeah, they're bringing
and things
gadgets.
Like that. Gadgets.
There's gonna be
That's
a
what
new
it is.
thing, gadgets.
So this event would be an amazing place to add in a game mode that tests those out. Make an explosives only. We might start seeing grenade launchers or something like that.
Explosives, or they said gadgets like smoke grenades, which is why we thought Bangalore was going to get a buff, because if they made smoke grenades in the game, there'd be no reason for her to have her tactical.
And also, we have seen pictures of a crossbow in Apex. We've seen the
I think it was a
crossbow.
regular bow and arrow, was it?
Yeah, sorry. Regular bow and arrow, and it had pink armor type, or ammo type.
That's fucking tight.
Yeah.
So-
It's like tribal Sheva from
Exactly.
Resident Evil.
That's definitely something that I wouldn't be surprised at all if that's what we see coming in this event. We might see a rotate of our old stuff. It might be the same. But if we end up getting that, I'm fine with it.
Yeah,
If
as
we get a
long
game
as
like that, I'm fine
something
with that.
new comes of this. I think that's what we're all trying to say. If something new comes out of this, then it's okay. But if it's just going to be the same Grand Soiree we had last season, minus the third person, I'd be pretty pissed off. And the third person would only last for a week at a time anyway. So as long as we get something new, whether they test out the crossbow, if they test out the gadget mode, if they bring in some new skins, that's all I need to see is something new. All right, that'll just about wrap it up for the main discussion of the week. Now, new segment time. We've got Gamer Tag of the Week. We're going to go through some gamer tags that really caught our eye, whether it was good, bad, ugly. I will start. I want to give a big shout out to my boy, Legendary Boy 101, because this fool comes in, okay? We land in Kings Canyon. It was my last game of the first half. I landed, immediately died, and I was like, son of a bitch, I need this. This was the only quarter that I almost didn't hit the over on my kills, and I needed to hit it. So, Legendary Boy comes in, kills 2 people, revives me, gets me back down, and me and him walk away with the W together. Legendary Boy, I fucking love you. Also, big shout out to my boy Daring Dragonfruit. He didn't do really anything, but I won with him, and I loved his name, Daring Dragonfruit. Hey, thank you so much, Legendary Boy 101. You guys are the bomb.
Mine's going to hit the other side of the spectrum. Fuck you, Spectacular Wraith. You are a piece of shit player, and the fact that you auto-lock Wraith, and you are the worst Wraith I've ever seen in my entire life. You're the worst.
What did he do?
Okay, so we both land, and we both go for the same door. We get stuck in the door, and he tries to wraith through the door, which you cannot do if you're stuck between you and your teammate. And he sits there, and then I get punched to death, and he gets to go through the door because he's in wraith mode. And then he grabs a gun and then gets clapped by the other team. That's what happened.
What was his name?
Spectacular Wraith.
Wow, he doesn't sound very spectacular.
Fucking shit is what he is.
Do you think maybe he heard that you were a bad teammate and he was just trying to get out of the game?
He probably sucked is what happened.
Okay.
He got in the way of me getting a gun, and that's why we lost.
All right, I was just asking. Doesn't hurt.
Probably pinged like 15 times. I'm going over here. Kyle just rushes full speed.
This does happen.
Brian, Gamer Tag of the Week.
Okay. So I want to preface this with saying, 1, I played with a lot of shitty people this week.
Yeah, it's everyone else, Brian.
Yeah, it's always
Let me go through this real fast.
Yeah, please do.
2, fuck crypto.
Yeah, he's
useless in his drone. Like you literally is doing nothing. And I'm going to go through this because this teammate was so shitty that he literally is still lingering with me almost a week later. All right? This teammate, I'm not fucking with you, was named Lazy Butthole. LAZYBUTT hole.
on PlayStation,
Yes.
so go ahead and add him.
Yeah, on PlayStation. Add him and be like, dude, this guy said you suck. Yeah, I'm telling you, you fucking suck. Quit playing crypto and uninstall.
Tell him about the pod. Tell him he can defend himself if he wants to come
Oh, yeah.
on. Lazy Butthole,
Listen.
you're allowed on the pod if you want to come defend yourself, because we totally understand if it was actually Brian who suckered you.
Listen, this is what happened. Me and my other teammate, who's an Octane, he was running with me the entire time. This is the game where I think I put up 1,400 damage in this game.
Okay.
So, decent game. Not the greatest, but decent. 1,400 damage, 4 kills. All right. Fucking Lazy Butthole. The entire time, all he did was, I need energy ammo. That's it. All he did was that. He flew around in his drone. Enemies over here. Yes, we know. You're also 5 miles away from us and we don't give a shit. Oh, you caught up to us. Cool. You finally decided to loop around after running away and getting shot in the back the entire time. Never firing a single bullet. I don't think he had any fucking damage that game at all. Gets to the final fight. Let's see. I'm going to continue to fly around on my drone with no ult available because I had just used it. In the final fight, by myself, and I'm sitting there railing people outside of containment. Both him, who's AFK in his drone, goes down, and my other teammate go down, and this dude is still just pinging like crazy. I can't see where they're coming from if all I see is a bunch of red dots appearing across my screen.
Wow, Brian. It sounds like he was trying to help you.
He was not. You're not helping when you're pinging out white body armor when we all have purple.
Okay, so just tell your teammate. Oh, so you just don't want pings then?
No. No, not in that case.
What happened the other 5-0 games? God. Brian, you have so many ones and zeros, it looks like you're writing computer code.
Listen.
And that is the first segue into the gambling section of the podcast.
It actually started without me talking shit.
Congratulations to Troy. Hey, everybody round of
Wow.
applause. He was able to do it.
Quick.
He was able to do it. We finally got to the segment without Brian talking shit.
I am caught off guard, but that actually got me.
What an incredible
That is like
way
3
to do
times
it.
this episode. You have caught me off guard.
What an incredible way to do it. Just incredible.
That makes me more happy that super producer is here with us.
Oh, okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, like we said at the beginning of the show, we already kind of went through our records here, but I feel like we should give the floor to anybody who really wanted to point out a big bet that they had during the week or not. They can kind of go through it and kind of see where they went wrong or right on their bet and call out a bet that they thought was really good. And I think one of my favorite bets that Troy made. Troy, why don't you talk about that bet that you hit? It was 20. How many units was it?
Listen, for all of you playing at home, and I know that there's plenty of you, anytime that you can bet under heavily on Brian, I am a great example of why that's a great idea.
Yes.
I got a win on Brian Gobelli for a first quarter under on average damage. Okay, it netted me 40 big smackaroos right into my bank Rooney. Okay, and Brian's over here looking at me cross-eyed because he knows that all of his damn bets were overs on himself. Okay, and here I am just flexing on him with his own failure. Okay, and you could be doing that too. Ask your doctor if betting unders on Brian is right for you.
Listen, you bet.
Side effects may be getting rich.
Come again. Ask your doctor. Ask your fucking doctor. Damn.
Brian also had a big bet himself. Brian had a big bet himself.
Where was it?
It was a plus
I know I
24.
bet on myself.
It was a plus 24.
Yeah.
Well, it's one of
Okay.
the only 3
Hey,
W's you had, Brian.
Listen, I don't need to bet often, but when I bet on myself, I win. Okay? My first half max, I know I come out strong. I know that I come out
What
strong.
were you doing on the other 7 bets?
So, my first half max, I hit, what did I bet? 12 units on that?
12 units.
Yeah, I bet
netted
12
you
units
24.
and gave me 24. It doubled
Nice. That's a
the
good-
bones
that's
that
a
I
good
put
haul.
down on that. It's
That's a good
fucking
haul.
phenomenal. All right? I also bet on my max just in general because I know I'm going to hit it. It's easy. 1,800, that's too easy. I know myself well enough. I'm going to hit it. I called it right because I'm a fucking baller. And I went positive on that as well. Plus 7 on the week. Wyatt.
Kyle, can you talk? So I
Brian,
can.
you sound like every drunk that's
Can
ever
you,
played a
Kyle?
slot
Can you
with
just
you.
talk?
Listen. I
don't
didn't
play
make
slots.
any good bets this week, so
Yeah, Brian, Kyle has no good bets. Hey, he's honest. He's
I
honest.
had no good bets this week. I'm sorry.
Oh, I don't have any either. If I'm going to be completely honest,
I'm
I
gonna
didn't
be-
even get 1 unit.
I'm
I
gonna be-
didn't bet any real bones on anything, but that's changing because Moneyback Babs is here this week, and it's
Oh
going to
my
happen.
God, get
so
outta
You
here.
say Moneyback Babs, and literally I already know you didn't bet a 50 bomb.
I definitely betted close to a 50 bomb.
Dude,
I got
you
close.
can't call yourself Moneyback Babs when you got people that are betting 50s and you're not.
I bet close to it. Okay.
Listen, it doesn't matter until you bet a 50 bomb. You don't
Honestly,
get the title
Kyle,
of money
Kyle,
back.
honestly,
down.
even then, you have to be the highest bettor.
Kyle, you bet 20-something bombs, and you're still barely up on me.
I
You're
am
up 5
higher
bones.
than you still.
5 bones.
Listen, I have the best record in the league, and I am up higher than you.
How'd
So
that-
you
how'd
have
that-
no room to talk.
Best record. How'd that work
5
out for you?
bones. 3 and 7. Brian has
Listen,
7
I'm only
bones.
down. I'm only down 2 from you, Brian.
But-
you act like we're up a lot.
But
All
you,
right.
but you're trying to say that you're the best gambler in here. I don't know about
I
that. If
am
you're the
the
best
best
gambler,
gambler.
then you would put extra down on the right bets.
All right.
Brian,
Let's
you're
go.
double digit on bets and you're single digit on dignity.
Let's go. Troy's just roasting Brian.
I'm getting fucked up.
Brian
This is a roast
Brian
episode.
is getting roasted. Let's go through the lines real quick.
Sweating.
Let's go through these lines real quick, and then we'll get to our bets. So for me, on the kills, the overall kill line is 37.5 after I had a 47 kill performance. So that line went up 7.5, really high. I got a lot of kills. I got to be honest with you. I was slaying out on a lot of these games, so I was feeling good. That line shows it. So max, or I should say total kill line this week for me is 37.5. First and second half is 18.5, and then each quarter is 9.5. Average damage for me, I had 734 average damage last week, so now that jumps up to 650. in the average department. That's average all the way through. Halves, quarters, everything. And then my max damage is 2,000. I was only 15 points away from hitting my max last week of 2,000. I hit a triple collateral with a Kraber. I put my controller down to text my friends, and I couldn't get that final 15 damage because I was a little excited. So that's
because he's a bitch.
Way to lose focus.
Hey, when you guys hit a triple collateral, call me up, okay?
Sure, we may get lucky, yeah.
Because we learned from you.
Okay, all right. Well, that's okay. So let's move on to Kyle's line here. He has a total kill line. He has a total kill line of 30. His first half, second half is 15, and all of his quarters are 7.5. Average damage for Kyle is 500 this week. He had a pretty solid week last week, but we're going to keep that line the same. And his max damage is 2,000. Last week it was 18,000 or 1,800, and he was able to get that one. That'd be hilarious. If
I got 2,298 for all of you wondering.
Yeah, on a one-off 13 kill game. So then we move on to Brian. His total kill line is 21.5, each half 11, and each quarter 5.5. His average damage jumps up to 500. He barely got it last time. We'll see if he can hit it this time. I might have some money on that. We'll get to that in a second. And his max damage is 1,900 because he did hit his max of 1,800 last week. So those are the lines. Who wants to get in their bets first?
All right, let's start it out with you. I mean, you already hinted towards having some money on
All right,
me.
money
I
back,
mean, anytime
Babs?
you have money on me, it's a good idea.
Bab, listen, Bab. Listen. Bab.
Yeah.
Listen. Whatever you're going to tell me and the rest of us and the world, okay? I want you to know that overcompensating for such a poor performance last week, okay?
I don't think
there's
it's
no
poor.
shame in that. What I'm saying is add one more freaking bet that
I haven't
puts you
even
over
set
50.
my bets yet.
Put yourself over 50, Bab.
Yeah, you better do a 50 burger.
Maybe when I'm reading my bets, maybe I might. I'm going to start with betting on myself here. I'm going to put +2 units on me getting the over of total kills 37.5 because I got 47 last week. I know how I can play. Putting 2 units on it. It's going to sound like from my bets on myself that I'm not betting a lot.
He doesn't have faith in himself.
These lines are really high, so I'm not going to place my big bets on myself this week. But I'm still going to bet on myself.
No faith.
Max damage, I believe I'm going to hit that 2,000. I was only 15 away. So I put 2 units over on the max damage for myself. Moving on to Kyle, I have a 5-unit play on the first quarter total kills of 7.5. I feel like Kyle is easily going to hit that. He's had a lot of success over the last few weeks with kills, especially now that the armor and damage is back to what it used to be.
How many units did you say you have on Kyle's first quarter?
I have 5.
On his kills?
On his kills, yes.
I completely agree. That was so conservative.
Yeah. So then for his average damage, I'm going to say +5 units over on the first half damage. I think Kyle easily hits that 500 damage. Overall, I think he's a much better player than a 500 damage player, especially in the small sample size of 16 games. So I think I'm going to go ahead and take that. And then max damage, I'm going to take Kyle over 3 units, 2,000. I think he's going to hit that easily as well. He had himself a big game. I think he always is in store for at least one big game every week. So I feel confident in that one. Moving on to my bets on Brian, I'm going to bet 5 units over on Brian's average damage of 500. While Brian had a terrible week, I think it evens out with damage. I think he's good enough to get damage, not good enough to get kills. I didn't bet anything on Brian's kills this week. I wanted to, but I'm looking at his stat sheet here, and he's really only good in the second and fourth quarter, and I feel like that could easily switch based on whatever. Like, he's so hot and cold, it's insane. It's like a hot pocket. Like, you take the first bite and it's freezing cold. You take the second bite, it's scalding hot. You never know what you're going to get. Brian is a hot pocket.
Yeah, it's really dependent on
Emphasis
how
on
many
hot.
people in his lobby have thumbs.
Yeah, exactly.
If they all have thumbs, it's going to be a poor game.
So I didn't bet anything on Brian's kills, but I will put money on his damage. I also put money on his second quarter damage over 500. He had a great second quarter in week 1. He had his best quarter, I believe, in the second quarter. So I'm going to put over 500 damage on that one, 3 units. And that will do it for my bets here. I got to count this up. Got 10, 15. I don't know how to do math, so I'm just going to wait on it. But I have over 15.
Are you serious? You can't count up to 50? Add up your bets
Right now?
right now.
Yes, add up your bets right now.
Are
Right
you
now.
fucking kidding me?
Mr. Moneybags
8
Bab.
plus 5 is 13. plus another 5 is 18, plus 3 is 21, plus 2 is 23.
That's a hard one. Yeah.
Plus another 2 is 25. 25! That's a 25 burger.
I have almost more than you.
Even close.
I have more
you
than you on
seriously
2
just
I'm
cards.
looked
halfway
us both
there.
in the eyes. You seriously just looked us both in the eyes and we were like, did you do a 50
That's-
burger? And you're like, I was so close.
Listen, I have more than you on just 2 people. You can take out a whole sheet of mine, and I have more than you.
Oh, bad.
Moneybag Babs. I bet 5 units last week.
Listen,
not a
money bag because you're
Moneybags.
storing it. No,
I
it's
bet-
money bags because he's just sitting
I
there
bet
storing
8
it.
bones last week. I got 25 on the table right now.
You're hoping that Troy gets boned this week with all of his bets
Yeah,
that he's going to make. And
listen,
you're
I'm
hoping
not
he's
here.
gonna lose.
Here's the thing you guys are talking about. Listen, all of you over here at this table, you're like, oh, what about him? What about him? What about? I worry about me. I'm worried about Moneybag Babs at this table. I'm worried about what I have at the end of the day.
Moneybag
I'm
Babs is in last place.
I'm trying to make enough money so
You-
my kids don't have to eat at McDonald's.
Listen,
okay?
you can't
I'm trying to make this bread, and you guys are sitting over here looking at everybody else's bread, like, oh, Mr. Jones, he's got the nice car. I don't care about Mr. Jones.
you
okay?
can't save it-
I care about Mr. Bab.
You
That's
can't
what I'm
save.
worried
You
about.
can't save yourself into being rich. You can't save to be rich. You got to spend.
I
and
spend
earn.
money
You
to
have
make
invest.
money. I just
You have to
spent a
invest.
quarter burger. I just spent a half a 50 burger.
Listen,
Yeah,
this is-
that ain't shit.
This is a fucking betting show, okay? This isn't a show about how to store up.
25
This isn't a
burgers.
show about how to store enough acorns to make it through the winter, okay?
Okay.
You need to start playing the goddamn game.
I just did. I just went from 8 to 25. That's a big jump.
You know what?
If I subtract that,
when you
it's
put
like-
it when you put it that way, okay, baby's got to learn to swim with his water wings before you can take them off.
And I still got my water wings on, but I'm in the deep end. Last week I was in the shallow. My toes were touching the ground. I'm
You're
like,
still wearing the water wings.
yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay with admitting I still got the water
In the
wings
fucking
on.
sink.
I'm still okay. I'm okay with admitting I still got the water wings on. 25 bones this week. That's a big
Okay.
step for me.
All right.
Who's up next?
Okay, just for a juxtaposition, I have 120 units in this week on 6 bets. So
for you.
I'll go ahead and go next. Okay, I'm going to start with Brian because this one is an absolute no-brainer. I'm repeating my bet from last week exactly at an under, okay, on Brian's first quarter average damage. So that is betting an under on his line that he will not hit 500 for the first quarter.
How many units?
20 units.
20.
20 units. Yes. All right, moving on to Wyatt.
I'm starting
I think,
off hot.
I literally think everyone else, Brian, is an over but you. Okay.
Fucking hate you.
Okay. Wyatt is an over for his fourth quarter kills, okay? And an over of 10 units. His fourth quarter kills is 9.5. So I bet an over on that. And I also bet an over on his fourth quarter average damage of 650 for 10 units as well. Okay, and moving on to Kyle. Okay, Kyle's the one that I was the most excited about because I really feel like you guys undercut
You had
it.
no bets on Kyle last week.
I didn't, but now that I saw the way that he performed and the lines that we set for him,
You
know,
mean
I was-
tiny damage and a ton of kills from last bullet?
Oh, Brian, the jealousy is just coming out of every
You
one
can
of your
see it.
pores.
It's you see
All
his
of your
face?
orifices are just pouring jealousy. But you know what? I'll just let that pour out on your turn. Because on my turn, I'm going to tell you about the fact that I bet 30, 60, 70, 80 units on Kyle this week.
my God.
Okay, so I have a first quarter, okay, over for Kyle's kills. And that would be a 7.5. I have an over for 30 units on that. And I also have an over for 30 units on his third quarter, which would be the same at 7.5. Because I thought the kills that you put him at, it was silly.
You
That
better
was
fucking
that
suck
was-
this week.
That was silly. Okay, all right. So also, I have an over for his third quarter average damage, which would be 500. Okay, and I bet 20 units on that. So that's also going to pay out at a 2 to 1. So I'm really putting a lot of bones on Kyle this week, okay, because I think that you guys really undersold him. So I'm going to be coming out as the absolute king. I have no doubt. I have faith in Kyle, faith in you, Wyatt. I have faith in you, Brian, that you will continue to suck. And you know what? I'll be right here next week. I'll just make sure to jack up my chair a little more.
All right, who's up?
You want to go? You want me to go?
Listen, you can go.
Whenever Brian starts a sentence with listen, I already know. My ears just like shut off. Like I just stop listening. Like
Okay.
I do the opposite.
Let me tell you right now. I'll go.
Okay,
I'll go.
you go.
I'll go. All right. So for your set, I didn't bet. Okay. Actually, did I even take? I did take some unders this week, but it's all on somebody. Yeah, I only took unders on one person this week, and it's quite a few of them. Let's see. For Wyatt.
Learn and do it on yourself.
No, I can't bet under on myself. I only bet over. If you're not going to bet on yourself, who are you going to bet on? That being said, I also will bet on Wyatt. I will bet Wyatt over for 4 units in the second half for kills at 18.5. So I think that's an easy cakewalk. Looking at Wyatt's stats from last week, he gets better as the night goes on. The more he plays, the better he gets. Plain and simple. Easy to keep track of. Easy kills. He gets a lot of them.
He does get a lot.
18.5 kills in the second half. Cakewalk. So 4 units over on that. Average damage, I got Wyatt sitting over for 2 units in the second quarter for 650 damage. I think he's got that as well. Again, as the night goes on, I'm going to match that again with the fourth quarter because as the halves get closer to the end, pressure gets on and he thrives in it. So we're going to run that. Easy. Easy wins right there. They pay out 2-1. I will take those happily. And then for the max damage, I got him getting the max damage in the second half. So that pays out a 2-1. And on top of that, I say it's going to happen fourth quarter. It's clutch time. One thing we've always seen Wyatt do is clutch it out. I'm going to trust it. That being said, let's go to... We're going to jump to me. I'm going to save Kyle for last here. All right, so for me, like I said, he can't bet on himself. He's going to bet on kills. I got over on 21.5 by 3 units. I actually have it over an extra 1 that I'm going to beat 5.5 kills in the second and fourth quarters for an extra 1 unit apiece. Then I've got average damage. I'm going to slaughter that average damage of 500. So I'm going to have an extra 2 units on that. And then in the second quarter, I'm going to have an extra 3 units on it there. That pays out a 2-1. That's an easy 2-1 for me. Max damage, 1900. You guys are disgraceful giving me that. Piece of cake. Give me a challenge for Pete's sake. Extra 4 units on that over. And then the second quarter where I hit my max last time, I'm putting an extra 3 down for a 3-1 ratio there.
For all those at home that don't get to see this piece of paper I can't even, it's like looking at the sun. I can't look at it for too long. Listen, Brian, the most kills that you got last week in one game,
we're talking
how
about
many
damage.
was it?
We're talking about damage.
No, I understand that, but how many was it?
But we're talking
how
about
many
damage.
was it, Brian?
4.
How many kills you? 4. You got 4 kills as your most. In any game out of 16 games, the best you could do is 4.
Did I say that I get a lot of kills? No, I said I'm going to beat my kills and over. I'm saying I'm going to slaughter my damage.
Yeah, honestly, Brian, I think it's like a 1 in a million chance that you get 4 kills and almost 2,000 damage. Like that's a freaking miracle. How do you think you're going to replicate that? How does that even happen?
Listen, I will do that with ease.
I hope you don't. For your sake.
Why?
Why you want to get 4 kills and a ridiculous amount of damage? Let's just scream and have no
I
clutch.
said I'll do that with ease. Get at least that. I can get 7, 8 kills and it still counts as 4.
I honestly kind of want it for you. I do. There's a part of me that just like, I don't want to see you melt as a human being the way that other people melt you in every lobby. I don't want to see you melt. I want to see you have hope.
All right.
I want to see you last.
Let me get to Kyle real fast because Kyle's going to throw some heat back at me. I feel like. Let's see this, Kyle. I didn't make a single bet on your kills because you actually got kills, and I can't say anything about that. You put up like 37 kills.
Thank
right?
you.
Do not bet overs.
So I'm not betting over on it. Oh no, actually, I did bet overs. I did bet overs on it. I bet 2 over on the total kills.
Thank you.
So I gave you that. You're going to get kills.
Close to 47. It's like 10 off or something like that.
Yeah, no, yeah.
So
we're not.
Shut the fuck
You
up.
got a lot of kills.
Your kills was 30, and I said, yeah, you're going to get over that. You can do that. But what I'm saying is, from looking at your sheets outside of that one game, if you remove that one game and drop the sample size by 1, your average damage was in the 400s. So I am taking the under all day on your average damage. I got 2 units under on his average overall.
Brian, that's a bad bet.
I got 1 unit under on the first half, 2 units under on the first quarter, and 2 units under on the third quarter. On top of that, your max damage of 2,000. You had one outlier game over 1,000 damage. You had one game over 1,000 damage. I am taking 2 under on your max damage.
Brian,
Brian,
that is a
Brian,
bad bet.
Brian, you're just lashing out.
Listen,
You're just
I don't
lashing
even
out.
have to roast you because Troy's going to do it for me.
Yeah, no, honestly, Brian, what this reminds me of is when you're trying to tutor somebody and they bring you a paper and they're like, the teacher just didn't like my style, and you read it and they're using text language and Spanglish, and you're like, you can't even write. You don't have a style. Okay, listen, you can't be angry at your own performance and take it out on Kyle. Okay, that's not okay, Brian. It's not.
Listen, I'm
Listen,
not
man.
angry at my own performance. I hit 2 out of 3 of my lines. I missed 1 by 2 kills, and I played probably some of the worst Apex I ever have in the
It's
night.
okay.
I understand that.
Appreciate you owning that right there. But when you come to the 3 of us and you start begging for a 2-week advance next week, okay, I want you to remember what you just said.
Brian, here's the thing.
I won't be begging for a 2-week
when I was
advance. You're going to
saying-
be begging for a 2 weeks just to catch up to me.
Brian, when I said at the beginning of the show, I was like, dude, you're terrible, you suck, you're trash. Like, I say that all the time. But, like, you went 3-7. I was like, he probably won't do that again. Like, he can't do it. You can't be that
How
bad.
many bets do I have in Kyle?
Yeah, I
1,
was
2,
thinking,
3, 4, 5.
You
I have
can't
5
be
bets
that
on Kyle.
bad.
You
But
have
now I'm
5
like,
bets?
wait.
I have 5 different bets on
You can be that bad. It's just you being bad. Like, I need to start realizing that Brian is a lot like the New York Jets. Like, every year you're like, oh, wow, they got, like, this new piece here, this new piece there, and they drafted this new quarterback. Geno Smith looks good, and then they consistently just do 3. They're consistently just terrible. They're just so bad. And the one year they were good, Mark Sanchez was their quarterback, and you knew the bottom was going to fall out of that one real quick. I need to start looking at you like the New York Jets. But for whatever reason, I keep looking at you as like some hopeful team, like the Carolina Panthers or the Atlanta Falcons. Every year they're like, oh, they're going to do it. And then every year they just flop. Those are bad bets. On
These
Kyle,
are not bad
those
bets.
are bad bets.
Listen, his averages
Obviously
were
bad
horrible.
bets.
If you take out the one outlier game, Kyle, your averages were bad.
My average is
Your averages are bad, so I bet on the trend.
All right, you know
That's
what,
what I
Brian?
bet
Okay,
on stats
Brian.
and trends.
Here's something that you know what I didn't even ask you before I put my bets in, and I think that it was a little bit of an amateurish move, and I'll own that. Okay, I'll model that. You got to own it when you make mistakes. How far did you drop in rank? Were you playing ranked? Were these ranked matches?
No. Public trios.
All public. Okay,
public.
good. Then nothing. Hopefully, nothing's going to change because with that kind of performance, if you were playing ranked, you might be in a totally different color.
Actually,
you
with
might,
that performance playing ranked, I'm
you might
probably
be in
up pretty
straw.
high. I probably go up way higher. Just because
What's lower than bronze, Clay?
straw.
And well, straw is probably below Clay.
Yeah, right. Okay, that or what like Adobe? It goes Adobe and then straw, then
why are we talking about computer programs? Adobe.
once again, we're coming back to the code you were writing with all your ones and zeros.
Damn it!
You were roasting.
I thought I was going to get
you
him off.
roasted yourself.
I thought I was going to get him off the topic,
That was bad.
and
You
it
didn't
did
have
not
to bring
work.
it up.
All right,
So let me. How many bones total did you bet?
let's count real fast. That's 40, 51.
51 bones.
51 bones.
51
51
bones.
Listen, so you've earned the title of Brian Moneybags Gobelli. White Bab, that's been revoked.
Hey, I don't pay attention to anybody else but me. Actually, I didn't even hear what you just
I
said. right
actually
now.
think
Can't
that
even hear what
Wyatt
you
should
just said right now.
have his testicles removed after this.
Give me your man
episode.
card.
Yeah, his man
I
card.
already gave it to Kate.
You don't let
You gotta ask her for that.
Last week we had him in the sink. Okay, at least he's in the pool this
I'm
week.
in the
all
pool
right?
now.
And listen, give him some time. All right.
He's in
My
the
little
kiddie pool.
tootsies are touching the bottom of the pool right now.
Listen.
My tootsies are scraping plaster right now in the bottom of the pool, and I'm feeling great with my water wings on. And eventually, I'll take those off, and I'll be flying high. I just got to figure you guys out more. First of all, Brian just went 3-7, and I just explained to you guys I think he's good sometimes. And then I'm like, wait a second, he just bet the worst bets I've ever seen in my life. So now I'm coming around. I'm coming around the corner.
Listen, you can't blame him. Those are angry bets.
They're not angry bets. They're bets based off statistics.
You got to swallow your suck, Brian. You got to swallow it and know that when you actually perform, you can come in here and wave your dick around like everyone else, but you got to earn that right.
You can't
just anger.
dicking
You
at
can't
3-7.
You
Y'all
can't
are
just
acting.
anger bet at Kyle. Okay, that's not okay.
That's not even what it was.
You're
I
gonna
literally
pay for it.
I bet
You're gonna
off
pay,
statistics.
mark my words. You're going to pay for it.
I bet off statistics. If you take out the outlier game, his average damage was down in the 400s.
You're betting off how angry you are at your own statistics. That's the only way you could say you're betting off statistics.
Listen, I'm not angry at my own statistics when I hit 2 out of 3 of my lines.
I mean, Brian's not.
and
Brian's
you hit
not
6 out
wrong.
of 6 of your zeros.
I didn't have 6 zeros.
He only had 3.
Oh, for kills. I didn't have 6 zeros.
6 zeros of kills.
No, you had 3.
No, I had 6.
You have 6?
6 and, yeah.
Boy. I was trying to defend you. I'm sorry.
Listen, the numbers are numbers, stats are stats. I don't gamble. I make educated guesses.
Kyle, get to your bets.
Okay.
Yeah, get
can
your
I
bets.
Can I get to mine? All right, thank you. I'm going to start my bets with Mr. Wyatt Babb. And Mr. Wyatt Babb, I think we set the kills way too low for him, even though I'm partially the person who decided on it. And I think in the first half, I bet 5 units on the over for 18.5 kills because I think that he is going to absolutely crush it. And for his average damage of 650, I actually bet under for 5 bones because I think 650 might be hard to replicate, even though he might probably do it, and I hope that he proves me wrong, but we'll see. Mr. Brian Gabelli.
Bets over on everything.
I bet under on the 21.5 kills that you have for this week because
I can't argue with that
I
one.
bet 3 units.
I understand why.
3 bones because I think that is a pretty safe bet at this point.
It's so sad that we're betting unders on 21 kills in 16 games.
I'm just doing off statistics.
I want to give you another week to prove that
Listen,
that's a bad.
I also put some faith in Brian, so it's okay.
Okay, keep it going.
So this is
Faith
not
me. I see another down arrow on there. What the hell is this faith in me?
So there's another one that's a lack of faith, and then there's one that comes over the top. So I put 7 bones under in your first quarter of getting your average damage because I think in the first quarter you play horrendously. I'm sorry, but you do. And then on your max damage, I bet 10 bones in the first half that you will hit the over. So I think in the second quarter or the first one, you will hit a miraculous game and hit your max. On to me, I bet that I would hit 5 bones. I bet 5 bones on the over for my average damage because I think 500 is pretty low. And then I bet 10 bones on myself to hit the third quarter. To hit my max damage in the third quarter. So, grand total. Oh, fuck me. I bet 5, 10.
Kyle's got a math.
Yeah. 5, 10,
Math is hard.
20, 30.
We saw you struggle to count 2 numbers.
Math is hard.
I bet 45 units this week.
45 burgers. Good job, boys.
Not a 50 bomb, but, we'll get to that.
Good job, boys.
Weak.
Hey, the funny thing is we did all of this fun, recording of stats and all that, and then we didn't record our stats when we played together. So that's a little funny. But that should just about wrap it up for the show, everyone. Thanks for dropping on by. Like we said earlier in the show, we do have a TikTok now that we've been putting little clips up on. It's been pretty cool, actually. We've gotten a lot of cool feedback on the TikTok. That's at GrabMyBannerPod. And always don't forget to follow us on Twitter. We're always active on there at GrabMyBannerPod as well. That'll just about wrap it up for the show. We'll catch you guys next week. See you later.
Although
It's
I
not
think
a sauce.
That's a sauce.
It is
That's
a sauce. It's a body sauce.
It's a body sauce.